problem with the unaccompanied minors is we have knowledge that for about 3 years that Los Zetas and other transnational criminals have been recruiting and training these minors as young as 8 years of age in their home country to do cartel and transnational criminal work inside the United States. One of the functions is that of an assassin. And they would not be representing, paying for, and bringing these people into the United States and embedding them in their cartel organization if they were not proven assassins.
By the way, Salon and other White House-connected groups have made jokes about this when I've talked about it and others. But it's on record in Mexico. They've got assassins as young as 12. Historically, it's well known about child soldiers. And it just shows the total yuppie ignorance of so-called liberals out there to make jokes about this. Or maybe it's worse than that. Because I don't know how they think they're going to get away with the kidnappings exploding, the crime exploding, and the Democratic Party being directly behind all this. What is their end game? Because I know you cover just facts, sir. Again, Zach Taylor, head of the National Association of Former Border Patrol Officers. But you talk about asymmetrical warfare. What is the end game? You know, you say the enemy is doing this. Well, it's the federal government seized by the globalist that is pulling it. So, A, who is the enemy? What is the master game? Where do you see it going?
Well, in politics, as in manifestations leading up to war, it's always about money and power and the interaction between the two. What we are seeing from the immigration point of view is that this has been a protracted conflict in Washington, D.C., basically open borders, basically closed borders. The open borders people want more and more illegal immigration, and Congressman Luis Gutierrez pretty well framed it the other day, this week, when he said that it is to get more people in here to vote Democrat. Well, that shows a quest for power. But we know from the way our Congress works that money is the lubricant that makes the political system run. So if they've got more power, then more money can flow to them to exercise that power. The closed borders or border security group understands the threat by diluting, or rather the attack on what makes America America. Now, let me explain that. The immigration laws are designed to principally do only two things: protect national security and public safety. National security, the basis of it, is American jobs and the American economy, because the strength of that is what makes America what is America, and the American family depends on that for their livelihood through gainful employment and the free enterprise system.
And if you undermine that with a bunch of people that are going to go on welfare and politically vote for more socialism, you have checkmated and used the voting system to basically bring in a bureaucratic dictatorship.
At least neutralize the status quo.
Yeah.
So then you go to the public safety side of it, which includes public health. And you have a situation, for instance, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, historically, I think it was last year, 86% of the warrant for first-degree murder issued in Bernalillo County were for illegal aliens. In Phoenix, Arizona, or rather Maricopa County, Phoenix, Arizona, 83% of the warrants for murder were issued to illegal aliens. So the public safety end of the threat of them just being present here is already obvious. Then you take the public health side of it. Now, this is where we should be very concerned, because the way the laws exist across the country about public health allows such things as quarantines, allows such things as legal intervention against people thought to be or showing symptoms of a certain disease. When I saw U.S. Public Health Service, Center for Disease Control, Health and Human Services, and the United States military all involved at the border in Texas, I've never heard of that before. Nobody in my group's ever heard of that before. It's never happened. So who was really in charge? Because this became from the very beginning, what we call a controlled or a closed event. We don't know what diseases they were quarantining people for. We don't know what diseases they were diagnosing. We don't know what they did, if anything, with those people. Now, just through little bits and pieces of information, we did find out that aliens were being shipped or flown out of the Rio Grande Valley that were obviously ill, but were not medically screened. All of these things point to the ability for this to become a tremendous national disaster on epic proportions with no real knowledge of who's running the operation.
And let me just stop you there, because it sets the precedent. I'm literally getting chills. It sets the precedent that Obama and the bureaucracy and the Ford Foundation people can just order the Border Patrol to do whatever they want, violate laws, ship people wherever they want, violate quarantine laws, ship people with TB wherever they want, drug-resistant TB, Black Plague showing up, and then just keep it quiet. So they're using the crisis itself and claiming they're coming to help with the crisis as a way to circumvent the laws, shut down the Border Patrol, and basically set up a secretive national security state on the border that's actually designed to destroy national security. I mean, this is open sedition. This is rebellion. This is vandalizing the country. This is sabotage, sir. I mean, am I wrong using those terms?
Well, we have markers that indicate that something like that's likely. Now, among those, on July the 10th of this year, Jay Johnson was in front of the Appropriations Committee of the United States Senate. And he testified that none of these people would be sent to a jurisdiction, a location, a town, a county, or whatever, without prior consultation with the people affected and their elected officials. Well, that patently is not happening. And so what they did was, instead of shipping those people out so they arrive at the destination at 10 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they're arriving sometime between 10 o'clock at night and 2 o'clock in the morning where they're not being seen, and they just sort of magically appear at these locations. So obviously what Mr. Johnson says is completely contrary to what practice is. And so in watching what this particular administration is doing, it seems that more likely they're doing the opposite of what they say they are.
Well, we've confirmed it. We got this a month and a half ago, the footage of the buses coming in. They give them the vouchers, load them on the buses, send them wherever they want to go, men, women, children, it doesn't matter, women with children. And this is the Border Patrol completing the smuggling process. So overnight, they have turned the Border Patrol from the ineffective strategies they had so people could come through under Obama to now having them be the illegal alien and diseased alien importation agency, and they have them compromised, violating federal law under executive command to frustrate and to smuggle them under cover of darkness so the media doesn't see it. I mean, this is organized crime.
Well, it certainly appears that way. But let me take this another step. The Border Patrol actually, when we're talking about Texas, is they're more of collecting them as they come across the border. And
then they hand them off.
Well, they're basically responsible for doing the basic processing. So if they have someone that is obviously ill, let's say the agent catches them on the river levee south of Mission, Texas. And he looks at these people and says, maybe the guy's throwing up, or he's obviously feverish, or the female or the child or whatever. And he calls for transport, and he says, this one's going to need a medical mask. Well, obviously that person's ill. And the agent is telling whoever's coming to pick them up to take them to be processed that they need to take precautions before they take custody of this person to transport.
But instead, they're loaded on a bus and sent wherever they want to go. So to be clear, the Border Patrol isn't itself involved, and I agree, in the criminal conspiracy, but they're handing the ball off to those that then commit the crime. But by us exposing this with video and documentation, now they're on notice, and so now they're informed. Of course, it's really the other way around. It's the Border Patrol and ICE that told us all this months ago and enabled us to expose the crime. So the Border Patrol is working, and I want to go to our guest and get his take on this. But briefly, Zach, I mean, to be clear, the Border Patrol is working to actually get the intel out to try to stop this criminal action. So this is just almost like a civil war going on in the government.
Well, it's actually the union representatives of the Border Patrol agents that are getting the information out. And that the agent himself, if he takes it upon himself, in circumstances regarding the condition of the aliens, they say that they're subject to criminal prosecution, which I've never heard of that. Some people in my organization say they've heard of it before, but I certainly haven't. And I was a union president at one time in McAllen, Texas.
Well, it's the persecution of whistleblowers that are exposing crime. I mean, if you're a Secret Service agent and catch Obama snorting cocaine, you have a duty to report that. But they call that treason now to report on crime. Unbelievable. I hope you can do 10, 15 minutes more with us, sir. I really appreciate your time. We've got Riding Shotgun with us, the filmmaker here, backtotheborder.com, who did the bombshell interview with you. Chris Burgard, other comments listening to this that you'd like to make, or other points or questions you think we should ask of Mr. Taylor here today?
Well, I think that, and Zach, please tell me if I'm wrong, but I think America needs to understand the pressure the rank and file Border Patrol agents are being put under. These men and women are the front line of defense, and their ability to do their job, from my perspective, in the last 9 years has been seriously degraded. Their training's been shortened. Their language skills, what they've been taught, that training's been degraded.
Isn't that meant to demoralize them and break a good agency?
Well, I don't know what it's meant to do, but it's working. The morale on the Border Patrol is not good. And why, and Zach may have more details on this, but from the folks I interviewed, why are Border Patrol agents in the Tucson sector, the most heavily trafficked sector on the border, why are they facing an ammunition shortage for practice rounds while DHS is buying up record numbers of ammunition? To me, that's just a disconnect.
You're right. It's over 2 billion rounds now. Mr. Taylor?
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing is that it's not a recent event. It started sometime in 2013 procurement cycle, and it's predicted, or it's been reported to the agents here locally, that it's going to extend into FY 2016. So we're talking about 3 years where they're not going to have the normal amount of ammunition. That can't be a coincidence. And it only affects Tucson sector. So what are they expecting to happen in Tucson sector that they want these people to be low on ammunition for? And traditionally, the Tucson sector is the busiest sector in the Border Patrol until this recent surge in the Rio Grande Valley. So all of this looks like it's laying the groundwork for some more things to happen.
Oh, yeah, Obama will probably make the Border Patrol turn their guns in next. I mean, sky's the limit. Why not? I'm going to talk to you guys during the break, see if you can do 15 more minutes with us. Callers on Ebola, I'm going to get to you. Thanks for holding. Third hour coming up. I mean, this is so real, folks. This is so over the top, I can't even believe it. Third hour coming up. Tell your friends and family to tune in.
The Genesis Communications Radio Network.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
We We turn jeans inside out. Diamond Gusset Jeans. Made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond Gusset Jeans got it. Others don't.